Hey, 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 how we doing? Hey, Gio, welcome. Yeah, we're gonna make Senshi proud. Yeah, so it's a pretty chill one. I did most of the actual like lesson stuff on Monday. I'm just kind of gonna continue and get a couple more dishes done, because I'm realizing that the 7 p.m. on Monday tends to be a better timing for a lot of you. Just like with the actual like time zone difference kind of thing. But it means that I can't really stream for that long because it gets really late really quickly for me. So, yeah, we're just gonna continue a little bit of that. Yeah, hope the hope the editing goes well. But yeah, yeah. So if you don't know, essentially last stream we had been drawing Breath of the Wild monsters as if you were able to cook them. So I got a bunch of references for that. I got a bunch of references for like food as well and stuff like that. And I'm essentially going to turn these into like some dishes and like make some edible monster stuff. So yeah. Have to watch the lesson viz. I look forward to chilling before I have to live for class. Yeah, no worries, Gio. Yeah. I'm. That's honestly another reason I'm continuing this kind of thing because it gives like a bit more variety, so I can edit Monday's VOD into a little bit of a lesson vid and give a couple of examples. So we're just gonna take it kind of chill and just draw a bunch of monster food. So yeah, these were from the last stream, the Octorok Rabas. Very very proud of these. Turned out quite fun. Talked a lot about food during the stream, of course. And in the same style, I'm kind of wanting to draw a couple of other dishes. So I'm gonna start with the Lizalfos, I think, and do like a almost like seared Lizalfo's tail. You know how like a lot of like the stuff that we see on Breath of the Wild is like skewered and stuff. So yeah, that kind of idea. Making me hungry. Yeah, no, that's a problem about drawing food. I'm on the same boat here. I'm like, oof, maybe I should have had a heartier meal before we got started. Okay. Um, there you go. Music's a bit too high. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, so just gonna honestly just looking at the references for the Lizalfo's tale over here on my other monitor. I kind of like the idea of like it being like almost like a like like there's like the skewer kind of thing where like you have the food on a skewer kind of style thing. It's quite a big lizard's tail. So I don't know if I want it to be like chopped up into bits kind of thing, or yeah, probably actually, because I don't want to just have the itself like the lizard's tail just on its own kind of thing. So maybe for the skewered version, we're gonna chop it up into some bits. So I'm thinking, kind of like we did with the last one on the other day, like kind of the key to drawing the food, like I mentioned, was essentially starting with the structure and then focusing on color and texture through how like the light reacts with the food, because that's really what makes food look delectable. It's a lot about texture. So the form is the first one. We're just like building up a little bit of like these sections of tail. uh Kind of like the idea of them like, actually I should make that one smaller. Kind of like a lot of them just like skewered like this, almost like through the where the bone would be, where the main vertebra would be, kind of thing. Yeah, something like this, and then like going smaller as they go until we get to like the little loop of the tail. Yeah, it's not an exact one-to-one. It's just like some sort of way of representing this stuff. Hey, Mahinori, welcome. Good morning, good morning. Page one edited. Now for the second, thankfully, last page. Amazing. Hey, Mahinori. So we're continuing on the theme from Monday stream, and we're drawing food. So the idea is to draw some cursed monster food from Breath of the Wild. Don't know if you guys have played the game, but it has this really fun cooking system essentially. But the one thing that you cannot cook is monster parts. So we are expanding Link's palette and essentially creating a couple of like possible dishes with said monster parts. So yeah, something like this for like the skewer for the tail, I think, and then just a little bit of like a topper here at the end of like what the finished part of the tail would look like, kind of thing. Um, haven't played Breath of the Wild yet, but would love to cook monster parts. Lol. Yes. I'm a big fan of food in general. So, yeah, the idea of like being able to create a bunch of dishes randomly and experimenting with like different combinations in the game made me really happy. Because that's kind of what I do when I'm cooking. I just have a bunch of like different things I mix and match and experiment with. So it generally spoke to me. Since she would disapprove of not being able to cook monsters in Breath of the Wild, yes, 100% you. We're trying to make Senshi proud. Yeah, man. I really love the food stuff in Dungeon Meshi or Delicious in Dungeon. It's generally so fun. Okay. Haven't seen that dungeon cooking anime either. Oh my god, Mayonori. Well, you like honestly, if you want to skip the plot and stuff, the most fun thing for me is the cooking parts. I'm not that into the plot. I don't really care too much about the overarching plot. I kind of like the characters. I feel like the characters are really really fun. You have the autistic knight that is the our protagonist Laios, who's just like trains level obsessed with monsters, and it's great. He's awesome. So bad at human interaction, yet so good at monster stuff. And then you have like Genshi, who's my favorite character, who's the cook. And he just spends like hours talking about different ways of cooking things and why he makes certain decisions and stuff. Very anime like of like over explaining things in narration, which I usually don't love, but in the case of Genshi, because I like cooking, I'm really into. Yeah. Hello, TF. Gasp food again. Yeah. Sorry, TF. So, I was trying to think what I was going to do today, and I have like an a thing I wanted to do, but I thought, hey, maybe I'm gonna save this for next week, and we're gonna continue with some food because I had a lot of fun drawing the kind of like the food yesterday, and I'm thinking to turn this into a bit of a better like food tutorial video, I'm gonna continue with some more food. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more food. I haven't had a lot of free time this week. I've been wrapping out a bunch of the private mentorships with Win Canvas. So it's been a lot. Like this past few days since Monday, I've essentially like had six separate classes. So I am absolutely exhausted. So I was like, yeah, no worries. I'm gonna do my like idea a bit better, and I'm gonna leave some room for it, and I'm gonna just go back to food because we like food. Food is great. So we'll focus on that for today. Yeah. There's a running joke between me and my best friend about the villain of the show just being a midget evil version of one of the OCs because they're both white haired, tan skinned, purple dyed elves. Especially, except mine is very friendly and tall, lol. Honestly, yeah. Uh, I haven't gotten that into the show, like that deep into the show, because like it kept releasing on like a weekly schedule. So I think I need to catch up with a lot of the latest episodes, but I do know the villain you're talking about. So yeah, it does look a lot like one of your OCs. I've seen that OC. I understand the joke. Have you seen the Pokemon cooking videos? Yes, I have. Oh my god, the Pokemon cooking animation. It's both terrifying and kind of satisfying. Like it's very creepy, but it's also really well animated and really well done. The Chikorita one had me like, especially when they peel her face. Oof, oof. If you haven't seen these, there's an artist whose name I actually don't remember, but they make some videos where they cook Pokemon. So it's just like a top-down view, almost like a cooking tutorial of them like chopping them into pieces and like making food with them. It's yeah, it's kind of creepy for some of them, but gosh, it's the animation is peak. So yeah, I was actually watching this animator discussing like great food animation, like great food 2D animation in movies, like the Ghibli movies. They do food really, really, really well. And the thing they were talking about specifically is like the food looks really good because they're really good at contact points, which essentially means like when you like move from one frame to another, taking into account like the surfaces and how things make contact with each other as you animate. So the food feels very gooey and very alive, and like when they cut into it or when like they stir it around, it feels very physical. And that's yeah, because they keep in mind their contact points. I think I explained it a little better. Also had examples, but yeah, if you're into animation, certainly drawing like animating food is a challenge for sure. Um, okay, so I'm thinking I want to skewer this Lizalfo's tail with some other type of food, and I'm trying to think what kind of food I can mix it with. Because we have a bunch of things in Zelda, but like I'm thinking thematically, what works best with like a Lizalfo. I don't know. We did use the like the electric lemons from Tears of the Kingdom. Veggies. Okay. You've seen the Pokemon cooking videos. Add some fruits. Okay, veggies and fruits. Okay, so veggies and fruits that we have. We have bananas, we have apples, we have the like small berries, we have the durian things. Veggies, we have a bunch of fungi. So we have like the truffles, the actual like different types of mushrooms. We have like the wild veggies, which are kind of like almost artichokes. Um, there's a bunch of different foods. Um, need balance. Yeah, exactly. I don't just want it to be meat. I want it to like be a mix of things. Sugarcane, does that count? That doesn't really. There's wheat, grains. We have carrots. Carrots are good. I think carrots are nice. Apples or berries would add a little sweetness. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do carrots and like berries. Cause then we have like a little bit of sweetness to it. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. That's a cool idea. Gonna add some carrots and some like veggies. So I'm gonna separate these a little bit to kind of like add some stuff in between the different sections. Again, this is going to be kind of like a char grilled one, but because we're adding kind of like the veggies and stuff, maybe we add like a little bit of a glaze on top of it. Um, like a bit of a sweet glaze on top of it kind of thing. I like the the swirly bit of the tail as like a topper. Maybe actually instead of in this way, like in this way, I don't know. That make more sense? Yeah, actually, maybe it would make a little more sense to have it like this. Yeah, something like that. Change the perspective for it. So like this actually makes more sense like this. There you go. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, so that is to kind of like reinforce the fact that like this is not just any random meat, but it's like the meat from the Lizalfo's tail. So like we can make sure that it's visually clear because that's another thing. Like we are make cooking monster food, but like if you just turn monster into meat, it doesn't look like monster food. So we want it to look like monster food specifically. Apples give a fancy skewer. Yeah, ooh, that could be fun. Like a little sword style skewer, like a spear for a skewer. Yeah. Okay. So let's add some of the berries that we have for the game. Um, let's. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of the carrots. Carrots will be like I'm gonna chop the carrots, but like they'll be more noticeable as carrots because of the color and the actual shape. So I'm thinking of going with like carrots that are just like chopped into like little circles kind of thing, like a little thin kind of carrot over here kind of thing like that. Yeah, we could give it some char lines later. Yeah, something like that. Big lizard tail would probably need a whole sword skewered. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna look up some of the like early game weapons because I feel like you wouldn't use a fancy weapon from Breath of the Wild, but like an early game one, maybe like one of those like broken lances kind of thing. Broken spears more than lances. I don't think there are any lances in the game actually. I think it's only spears. Man, It's really sad because I'm just thinking about like how Tears of the Kingdom has some really cool stuff, and yet it's just not really good. It's making me sad now. I really love Breath of the Wild. I'm excited to get like a capture card and play some Breath of the Wild with you guys. I'm thinking of doing a thing where like unless I'm like playing games with other people, I'm probably gonna like for single player games if I ever do them, I want to bring them back to like the drawing thing. So I'm probably gonna do like play a single player game for a bit, then pause and do some sketches about the thing we just played. Like draw a little bit of that single player game kind of thing. Yeah. Base voice for ASMR. Hey Kyle, how you doing? Welcome, man. We're drawing monster foods. We did some Korok fried calamari on Monday, and we're continuing the theme with some Breath of the Wild themed monster foods. So welcome, welcome. Oh man. Thank you for coming. Do. Don't know. Are you at work right now? I feel like you'd be at work right now. I feel like you might be sneaking to like watch this while you're at work. Oh man. Okay. So something like that. Little bits of carrots throughout like all of the thing. I want them to like show a little bit, so like they're gonna be offset a tiny bit. Like they're not gonna be perfect, just because it gives a little bit more variety and fun to the whole thing. Um, I'm working from home. Don't worry. Okay, okay, good. Ooh, full carrot. Actually, yeah, we could. Actually, you're right, because like this is making it feel kind of small. If I were to make the carrots like full size carrots, then like it would make this look a lot bigger. You're right. I'm gonna yeah, good one, Geo. I'm gonna make like larger carrots so like they feel properly to scale with this. But let me actually look at what the carrots from Breath of the Wild look like, because I know there's a couple with like different roots and stuff. Breath of the Wild carrots. Bloop. Okay, yeah, there's a couple of them that have like double roots. Um, so maybe I'll add like one or two of those. They're pretty normal otherwise. Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. I have to be able to see my PHM. I don't know what PHM means, but PHM. This is another clippable moment of me being absolutely thick. Um, mm, no, I don't know. Oh, Mahi. Yeah, thank you, Mahi. That's a good idea. Yes. Project Hail Mary. Yeah, okay, yeah. Gosh. Oh, I'm so sad. If you guys don't know about this, Kyle and I are in a podcast with our friend Lewis, who's like a film critic. And there's this movie that we've all been very hyped for because Kyle read the book first and told us he was really excited about it, and we kind of trust his opinion. He kind of has good opinions, so we've been essentially very hyped for this movie, and it is an atrocity that in my country, it's being released like 2 weeks after it's released pretty much everywhere else in the world for no apparent reason. So it means that these guys have like seen it already a couple of times, and I'm still waiting for the 26th so I can watch Project Hail Mary. But it looks generally so freaking good, and if it's anything like the novel that Kyle read, it's gonna be amazing. So I'm pretty hyped, but also pretty mad because I really want to watch it. Like, really, really want to watch it. So, yeah. Profitable house maintenance. Yeah, Kyle is in profitable house maintenance. Oh, gosh, that's funny. And sorry, Mahi, I attributed the carrot idea to Geo. My bad. I'm famously bad at reading chat. Okay, so one carrot down. Let's do another one here, and then do I want to just have the carrots? The carrots are kind of nice because they add a lot of of scale to it. I feel like berries might feel too small. I might add a berry on top of like the glaze, I think. And I'm gonna do like, yeah, I'm gonna do like keep actually these like round things that I did for the vegetables, but shape them more like a heart, and they're gonna be like that heart shaped vegetable that they have in the game. I have no idea what it's called. Like I think it's a heart radish, maybe, perhaps, something like that. Can't remember, but it's good for health. So because it's heart shaped. That's the lesson, in case you're all wondering. If you're wondering whether or not you should eat something, if it's shaped like a heart, then it'll be good for your health. uh, a radish. Is it a radish? Yeah, it is a radish. Okay. Yeah. Big hearty radish. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a radish. Nice. And we conveniently have a like a cut version of the radish that we can reference for the look of it. So that's fun. Yeah, it's literally shaped like a heart. Okay, so yeah, this is like our Lizalfo style, skewered with some root vegetables, and essentially just glazed with some fruit, some like fruit glaze on top to add sweetness to it. Sounds pretty good. Okay, so something like this. Very nice, very nice. And then something like that for this one as well. And for this one, we could put it upside down to add some variety. Okay, something like this. I never, until I started like teaching and doing like a lot of these like live streams and recorded lessons and stuff, I never realized how much I make like little sounds just randomly. Um, yeah, I'm like a little bit of a chirping bird. It's just like put it to for no reason at all. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like silence scares me. Hmm, maybe. Do, 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 do. We can ask a therapist. Okay, something like that. That's nice. Okay, cool. So some slices of this heart-shaped radish. What is horseradish? English-speaking folk. Is that a type of radish that's shaped like a horse, or is that a completely different thing? Um, boop. We wish we could actually talk on stream, lol. Yeah, that'd be nice. I like hearing from you guys. You'll have to just type. You're condemned to forever typing. I miss the talking part of the classes. That's true. Like that's an aspect of classes that streams can't really do. It's like when students just like hop on and start like ranting about certain things. It's very fun. I love it. We we can rant about some contentious topics too, like whether or not. Actually, I don't know if it's a contentious topic anymore. Are people still thinking Tears of the Kingdom is a good sequel? Is that still like a like up and an up in the air kind of discussion? Because like I've gone back to Breath of the Wild so many times, I haven't really gone back to Tears of the Kingdom since. And even though it has some like great like mechanical aspects to it, there's some like really cool mechanical things. The depths suck so hard, and like there's certain things it just does that like almost feel like it's taking the fun out of the game in some ways. I don't know how to express it, but like I don't know. It feels like Breath of the Wild is empty in a serene kind of way. Tears of the Kingdom feels empty in like a okay, what am I supposed to do next kind of way. And then like whenever it's not empty, it's way too full, and like you can't go 2 steps without like an encounter or something. I don't know. There was something about it. It just like I played a lot of it. Um, didn't really finish it. Nor do I feel like I like nor do I feel the impulse to go out and finish it. And like I've done all the major temples and stuff. I even like finished most of the stuff in like the Hyrule Castle and things, all those kind of quests. It just I don't know. There's something about it I just don't jive with. Whereas like with Breath of the Wild, I was scared of finishing it. I was like, oh, but I wanna keep playing it, you know? I did finish it eventually and like did the Ganon fights a couple times, but yeah. There's something about it that just didn't really jive with. Okay, so more carrots. Gotta skewer a second carrot over here. Doop. But yeah, that's it. I'm planning on getting a capture card so I can play some Nintendo Switch games on stream. Um, because I do not have all the money in the world, they will not be the new games because I cannot afford a Switch 2. It is way too freaking expensive, but you know. I never want to finish a game I enjoy because then it's over. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. There's a bunch of games that I love that I've never finished. I've never beat Minecraft, even though I've been playing Minecraft for like years, decades at this point. Never finished it. Nor am I like really into finishing it. Like I've never gone to the end, beaten the Ender Dragon. Never fought the Wither. There's certain things I just, yeah. I guess it's because of the way I play Minecraft, which is mostly to build and make things pretty, and that's pretty much about it. That's like my goal in Minecraft. I want to optimize and create farms just so I have more materials to build with, and that's pretty much all I care about, making pretty builds. So yeah, I like going around and adventuring, just not not a PvE or PvP kind of guy in the slightest. Is there an end to Minecraft? Technically, TF beating the dragon is like beating Minecraft. Um, but no, there's no end to Minecraft. I played Minecraft when I was younger, but it's more rewarding to build things. Yeah, that's the thing for me, like Mahinori, like I feel like with Minecraft, I just want to build pretty stuff. I like going on Pinterest, finding like a really cool looking house and being like, okay, let's see if I can build this in Minecraft. Or like getting on a server with some friends and like while they're out exploring and getting me materials, I'm just there like making the base look gorgeous and like decorating every little inch of it. Yeah. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm an artist and that's just like what I enjoy. Like it feels like a different form of canvas, you know? Yeah. That's something I'm planning on doing with you guys, by the way. I have a plan for a stream, and this is going to be a two-parter most likely, but I want to do like a class on designing buildings and stuff. And I want to like tie it back to Minecraft and maybe do a thing where like we draw a building in one class and then we go and try to build it in Minecraft in another, or like even doing the opposite thing, like the other way around, designing a building in Minecraft and then drawing it or something like that. Yeah, that feels pretty fun. I kind of do that for fun anyways, but yeah, it seems like a good project. I thought it was endless building with bricks. Pretty much TF, like it's just build everything you want and do everything you want to do, but like officially when you kill a thing called the Ender Dragon that's like in a dimension and you have to go to two different dimensions to get to. If you beat that guy, then you get the credits for the game. So like not that guy, that girl actually. It's a woman dragon. But like when you beat her, you essentially get the credits to the game, which means that technically that's the end of the game. But it's not. You can keep playing after, and like the game opens up even more after, like on that dimension, and you can get the elytra, which is the things people used to fly around and things. So yeah, there's like way more. I've never never gotten elytra in my life. Um, Building is the best part. I like playing modded Minecraft and then not actually playing with the mods and just building fancy houses. Yeah, I'm with you, Geo. I'm on a server with a couple of friends, and maybe like when like one of my friends is trapped in Australia right now because of the Iran war, so that's really fun. But maybe when she's back from that, we can like get together and play some Minecraft, and you guys can see what I do in the modded Minecraft. It's got thousands of mods, thousands of stuff. The only thing I do is just build pretty things. And then I go exploring to see if I can get a bunch of building blocks to build prettier things. That's literally it. I joined a server with a create mod, built my best, and some other members invited themselves over and started judging. Lol. Yeah, no, the create mod is definitely on the pack. I love the create mod because it just not because it, like I actually don't use it to like create like efficient machines or anything like that. I just like the possibilities that of adding movement to builds. That's literally it. I like the idea of having moving windmills or like things flying past and stuff like that, like rotating elements to your builds. That's literally it. I just like the possibilities of movement they had. Yeah, making windmills is the best. I even make fake windmills, ones that like aren't like really windmills. Like it's just a rotating thing that I'm actually using like something like a water wheel to power or something. But it looks like a windmill, so it looks nice and cute, and that's all that matters to me. No actual like sales or nothing, not generating power, just looking nice. Yeah, that's my favorite part of the of Minecraft. Honestly, just making things look nice, generally. Mm. Okay, so we're going to sear the meat a bit, or like create some like sear lines. Maybe like we cooked it on like a some sort of stove or something. I don't know. Let me get to my reference. Wait, I don't actually have reference of seared meat, do I? No, I do not. I need to find reference. I could just make it up. Yeah. No, I just something like this essentially for like all of them. We'll add that with the texture. It's fine. But yeah, this is gonna be our meat, meat skewer. Let's add our lance through it. Breath of the Wild. It's a spear, isn't it? Spear. Yeah, I'm gonna use one of like the basic rusty ones. What's it called? Like Traveler Spear. That's pretty good. So, yeah, it's generally just a stick. So I'm just gonna do this to give myself like a little bit of a guide, make sure that it's straight. Good trick whenever you're drawing anything, draw through things. Sometimes, like with this piece of meat, like drawing through things isn't enough. Sometimes you have to readjust the position of things. But in general, drawing through something allows things to actually like line up and not feel quite distorted and stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this for the poll. I'm being lazy, but yeah, I don't want to have to think about it too much. So something like this, piercing through, also allows me to like find exactly where I could draw it that it's gonna pierce through well. So something like this. This is like a mega meal. Oh my god, have you guys ever played Hunter or like seen like the meals and the cooking stuff in Monster Hunter? Because I've never played it, but gosh darn if I've just like watched all the animations of like the cute little cats cooking. I think Monster Hunter World was the first one that I was aware of, where like they essentially have like these cute little cats whose species name I do not remember. But some of them are at your base and they cook food for you. And the look of the food that they cook is absolutely insane. Talk about delicious looking food animation. Oh my god. Yeah, it's not 10 out of 10 stuff. Let me see if I can show you guys some of what this looks like. Monster Hunter cats, yes. Hey Hannah, how you doing, babe? Yeah, she knows. I've shown her this. Um, no, I've never actually played Monster Hunter itself, but I kind of want to just for like the character customization. Like I love the armor options that you can get. I love the design of the monsters. Like it's so cool. It just generally looks like a pretty hard game, and I'm not very good at hard games. Like I say that as someone who loves playing things like Dark Souls, but I'm generally so bad at it. Like so bad at it. Palicos, yes, thank you, Geo. Palicos, that's the name of the cat species. They're called palicos, and you get a palico like pal throughout the game. It's adorable. Um, okay. Okay, so, oh, sorry, accidentally opened Discord. I did not want to open Discord. Ooh, things get glitchy for a second. Okay, sorry, I'm just looking at the tip of the spear, trying to figure out exactly how to draw it. So it's fairly simple, but then like the more you look at it, the more complex it actually looks. Like, yeah, so I'm gonna kind of like simplify it a little bit. Just like draw my own more simplified version, I think, is this is a bit more complex than I bargained for. So I'm gonna just, yeah, something like that. Okay, cool. So yeah, the good thing about like the drawing the straight lines is that like it makes my spear actually look kind of like straight when it's coming out. But yeah, I definitely, maybe I need to like move the point up a bit actually. Yeah, I think I do. Okay. I don't want the drawing to end up being too long though. But yeah, no, something like this I think works quite well. Okay. So something like this. We might have to add some like effects here, some smoke or some steam or something to like fill that up a little bit more. Something like that looks good. Looks a little more like an arrow. Well, yeah. It's a big spearhead. If I make it a bit smaller, it reads a little more like a spear. That's the thing though, like this spear is very arrow-like. uh, I'm gonna add like the little rivets over here or something like that. I mean, those carrots are very big. Maybe the spear is too small compared to the carrots. Like this is the kind of thing that you need to take into account sometimes when you're like drawing things and its scale. And the way we tell scale as human beings is like by comparing things to one another. So like in this case, I think my scale's a bit off. And this like this spear should be a lot longer than this. So yeah, maybe we're just gonna have to make it because like otherwise these carrots are humongous. So yeah, maybe we made the carrots too big because I don't want to have too big of a spear here. Maybe this will help. Yeah, just making the spear longer should be able to help a little bit. Maybe. We're just testing things out, I guess. Do the name colors in chat have a meaning? Good question, TF. I don't think so. I think you just get like randomly assigned colors, although I'm pretty sure you got purple last time, so I don't know. I don't actually know if you guys get to like choose the colors. I'm honestly incredibly new to Twitch. Probably should have like spent more time on it before starting to stream on it. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. Not gonna lie to you. Maybe there's something to them. Maybe like it has something to do with like your settings and stuff. I get red when I type down, but like my channel color is set to yellow, so maybe it's just completely random. Um, it might be fixed or it might like change every single stream. But yeah. Now, if you want to add color to your username, no, I don't think they allow you to add emojis to usernames, do they? That'd be nice. 'Cause then you can add some color to your username. I do that in on my Discord and some of my socials. I just have like some emojis around my name to make it look cute. Yeah, it's essentially what I do to Minecraft builds. Okay, so something like this. Okay, that's nice. Ooh, also, announcement. Most of you are from the other side of the world, but I am officially going to attend London Comic Con. I'm really excited about it. My partner just like literally just called me yesterday and was like, "Hey, a bunch of friends of mine are going to London Comic Con. You want us to go?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, let's freaking go." So that's it. That's as far as that decision making went. So I'm gonna be at London Comic Con this May. haven't been to a convention since I was like 16 or something. So this is gonna be exciting. Probably gonna have to wear some type of cosplay because when you're at a Comic Con without cosplay, it kind of makes you feel naked. Like it feels very weird. So yeah, maybe some sort of cosplay would help. Need to figure out what I can do in time for that. But yeah, that's gonna be quite fun. Don't know if any of you. Oh, that's long. Yeah, it's a long spear. Yeah, don't know if any of you are like probably not. Most of you are probably from the the other side of the pond, as they say. But if anyone's gonna be at London Comic Con, let me know. Come say hi. I'm not. I don't have a. I'm not gonna have a like a vendor stall or anything. I'm just gonna be around, looking at things, trying to see what artists are gonna be in the artist alley and stuff. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Looking forward to it. But yeah, I need to come up with some sort of like cosplay or like at least a nerdy outfit, so I don't just like I'm not just like wearing normal clothes. Boop. Yeah, okay. This is the spear now. I feel like that's a bit better scale wise. At least a tiny bit better. It's a very long spear. This is a this is a meal not meant for one. Like this is a communal meal. It's for a lot of people here. Um, we're feeding hundreds. I'm always amazed at how people walk around with heavy cosplay. Oh, it's kind of incredible. I mean, thankfully it's gonna be London, so it's not gonna be especially hot. Might be a bit humid though in May, but not especially like boiling. But like, oh my God, some of the stuff that people wear to like San Diego and LA Comic Con, like or Phoenix Comic Con. Oh my God, I can't believe people walk around with like full suits of armor and stuff like. I would honestly, if I was like at the like one of those, I'd probably just be wearing a bikini and be like, yeah, no, I'm just some swim trunks or something. I'm like, yep, I'm just here. I'm cosplaying the tropical Pikachu from the trailer. just just a wide open Hawaiian shirt. Thank you. Gosh, the heat in Arizona was insane. I visited there the year before last, I think. Oh, that was yeah, that was really hot. 46 degrees Celsius outside. At least it was dry though. I feel like if it was humid it'd be a lot it would feel a lot worse, but oof. It was definitely a loss. 46 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that's in Fahrenheit. You don't know. Indoors, cool area. Cool. Oh yeah, cool. Real hot inside. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about air conditioning. No, I would catch a cold. Oh, I hate air conditioning so much. I hate that like it's not just like all I really need for air conditioning it to be a couple degrees lower than the outside, and then it already feels great. But like they gotta go so hard with it. Like it's 46 outside and then suddenly it's 18 indoors. I catch colds. I generally get colds from air conditioning. Last time I was in the US, I got a cold from nothing. Like I was with my partner and with her family. They didn't catch a cold. They didn't get absolutely anything. I got a cold. Like so hard. It was awful. I cannot do air conditioning. American air conditioning kills me. It's too much, too extreme. No, no, no. With lots of people, it'll be so hot. Yeah, no, it gets hot inside, but like I can't. Oof, no. The ones as well that have like the moving air that just like gets you in the back of the head when you're sitting down at a restaurant or something. Oof, that's my kryptonite right there. Like if you're trying to kill me for some reason, you don't even have to try. Just place air conditioning somewhere. I'll just I'll just wither and die. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at air conditioning. It's insane. Oh man. It's not like we don't have the concept of air conditioning in Spain. It's just we use it a lot differently. We also do have the concept of, hey, maybe let's not waste too much electricity and build our houses in a way that like they conserve energy on their own passively. But that's a whole nother story. Because like more and more they're building them more like the US, where like they actually need like the electrical waste. which is waste. Like that is waste. When you could like keep a house cool just by the way you build it, having to add an apparatus that does that is like full on just waste, honestly. This is good. This is looking good. I like this. Okay, let's do some color. Yeah. Gonna just fill it in like I usually do, and then get to the coloring phase. Geocat, you'll want a little AC if you visit the south in the summer. Yeah, no, like a little bit of AC is fine. Like a little bit of AC. Like I'm not against air conditioning as a concept. It's the idea of like going into a building from like 30 odd or like 40 odd degree weather and then suddenly being blasted with like 18 or like 12-degree air. That's just absolute insanity to me. It's too much. It's too much of a temperature difference. Just ease me in, you know? Like, again, if it's 40 degrees outside, 30 degrees inside feels cool and nice. You don't need fridge weather. Boop. Also, I'm wondering how people dress in the summer. Like, that's another thing that's always like, because, like, so you dress to go outside, you have to have different clothes for indoors and outdoors. And that's crazy to me. It's like, oh, it's cold outside. So like with like the heaters and stuff, it's like, oh, it's cold outside, but every time I'm like in a supermarket or a restaurant or something, I need to take all of my clothes off because otherwise I will boil to death. And then in the summer, it's like, oh, I'm gonna wear this cute little tank top or something, and then you go into a thing and you're like, okay, I'm dying now of hypothermia. It's I don't know. It's yeah. I made the mistake of dressing for the outside last time I was there, and I regretted that so much. I had one like really thin sweater that I brought as a just in case, and I had to wear it every single day. It was awful. I didn't like it. Went to Las Vegas in the summer, and every business had their AC blasting while I was 104 F outside. Oh damn. That's what's 104 Fahrenheit? I need to Google this. What's that in Celsius? 104 F2C. Boop. Let me see. Oh, that's 40. Wow, that's hot. That's really hot. Yeah. And the AC blasting. Yeah, like I understand it's 40 degrees outside. Like you would have like some sort of air conditioning. That makes sense. You're in the middle of Nevada, in the middle of a desert. It makes sense to have some air conditioning. Like you need to keep things cool. But also, if you don't build your building out of glass in the middle of the desert, it's not gonna get that hot. Like it's really not gonna get that hot. If you use certain materials to build your building, they're natural insulators. So you essentially get like buildings that are cool on the inside. Like my whole life, I've lived in Spain, and when I was younger, I grew up in Madrid, which is the capital. It gets to 45, 46 degrees there in the summer. That is a lot of heat. It's more than 104 Fahrenheit. But when you walk into a house, it's usually pretty cool inside. And that's because well, houses are pretty old. And then also, we have this tradition where, like, when it's summertime, like when you wake up, you put like the blinds down almost. Like you keep your house in the shade. Like you create shade for your house, especially through the windows and stuff. So by the time that like midday hits, everything gets really warm outside, but it's kind of cold indoors. And we tend to have basements where we keep our food. That's the coolest place in the house. It's pretty dry heat as well, so it's like pretty optimal to just like go indoors and or stay in the shade, and it ends up cooling you off. So like I don't know. I'm not saying everywhere it needs to be like that. Like every single like place has different weather conditions and different humidity levels and stuff. But I don't know. It feels like you don't really need AC a lot of the time. Like sometimes you do. Don't get me wrong. And especially with like public buildings, there's a lot of movement, a lot of people coming in. There's some need for it. But no, like we should work smarter. You know, build things from the ground up to be cognizant of the freaking place where we're building them. The same house doesn't work in Minnesota and Nevada. And that's insane that someone would want to build the same house in both places. I was told to bring a jacket. Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. That's insane, Mahi. 104 degrees. Yeah, bring a jacket. Tinfoil reflects heat to build them out of foil. Yeah. Forgetting your Dundee period. Oh yeah, Dundee. Dundee is not hot. Dundee is the opposite. Dundee is quite cold. And the insulation in Dundee is very bad. Um, they just take very old houses and put a bunch of windows there, and there's like just cold coming into like through the gap between like the wall and the window. Like the actual insulation of the house isn't bad, but they don't have like most like windows don't have double glazing, and they're not installed very well, so like there's so much cold coming in through the corners of windows. It's quite fascinating. People just live like that in Scotland. It's also very freaking windy. Scotland is windy as hell. Like, oh my god. They're like one of the leaders of wind turbine powered like renewable energy in the world, and I get it. It's like the land of the wind. Okay, let's get some references for the color. So I don't want to like go too green with it, because it like cooked meat shouldn't look green. Like it can technically, but green is gonna make us think, oh no, I don't want to eat this. So I'm gonna try and go um a bit less green with this essentially. Oop, my program just froze. Fun. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, well, first of all, I'm gonna save because I haven't saved yet. And then I'm going to lock this. So this is a layer thing. Let me bring this up so you guys see. This is normally what I do with my line art. So I like to color my line art with a very dark purple. This is a technique I learned somewhere, and I cannot tell you where because I do not remember. Like I've been using this almost since I started doing digital art. I set this one to overlay, and then I have the same layer but in black, and I like lower the opacity of that one. And essentially what this does is that it lets me control the darkness of the lines, but it also means that like anything that I paint below, it's gonna kind of like tint those lines close to like a darker version of that color. So if yeah, it's a good way of getting colored line art without having to like go through the motions of like locking in like your liner thing and drawing and painting every single line a different kind of color. So quite useful, very time saving for sure. Do. Okay, I need a little bit of a reference here, so I'm gonna look it up. Um, do because I want to get some like lines of sear in here. Um, do. Whoa, new line art hack learned. Yes, TF. Woo. It's generally what I use for all of my line art, especially when I'm doing characters and stuff. Even sometimes when I do backgrounds with you guys in classes, like I'm not a very like background painter, or a very good background painter, but yeah, no, I kind of use this a lot because it also allows the line art to like be there but not be as important or impressive or like noticeable. Yeah, I don't like my line art to stand out too much. So okay, so I think I might go with like a bit of that cliche of the seared meat with like the really like dark crossing parallel lines kind of thing, like a little bit of that to just give it that sense of searing. But first of all, I'm gonna just create a couple of like different tones for the meat with this. So let's get some colors here, something a bit more light. Here, going a bit more red. I'm gonna use the airbrush because I want some like gradients. I don't want this to be like perfect. I want like some like gradients to pop for like the lower part of the tail, almost mimicking that like two-tone version that like the lizard has, where it has like some different scales in the belly than it does like in the top. kind of thing. So something like that just to give that kind of feel to the meat. Yeah, something like that I think looks pretty cool. And then I'm gonna just maybe lower the opacity on it a bit to make it a tiny bit more subtle. Do something like that. Not too much, but just a little something to give it that sense of like, yeah, this used to have two tones kind of thing. So I'm gonna look to see if there's like any way that I can mimic. So I have this over here. I got so irritated with the liner that I started doing grayscale underpainting instead. Yeah. Yeah, I don't love clean line art. I don't love doing line art in general, so I kind of have like this thing where I do it kind of messy like you're seeing here. Like there's a lot of places where I probably should go again and stuff like that. Yeah, line art is not a thing I really take a lot of care with unless like I'm doing like a commission or anything like that. I'm also pretty used to drawing like more concept art for work, so in that sense, you don't really spend too much time worrying about line art when you're drawing stuff like that. So, yeah, it's not. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I like a Macy style though. Yeah, it can be annoying at some points because like it forces you to like keep making decisions. Like a lot of the time there's that moment where like your line art is finished and all you have to do really is like continue with like putting flat colors down or something, and you don't really have to think too much about that. If your line art isn't very clean, then you're not going to have like that brief moment of like, oh, I guess I don't have to think too much, because yeah, you're still going to have to think a bit because your line art isn't clean enough to just give you a clean guide. But I personally don't really care because I just hate the line art stage much more than I hate doing that. So yeah. Okay, I'm adding like a tiny little bit of like scales. I'm gonna like, these are on a different layer. I'm gonna lower the opacity for them and stuff to like kind of blend them in. But I kind of wanna replicate a little bit of like this scale idea patterns that the tail has. I'm like looking pretty close at it and trying to like mimic some of these like uneven scales that like the original has, just to like give like, I like technically there wouldn't be any scales because you'd probably deskin like the animal when you're cooking it kind of thing, but just to give us a visual reminder and a visual connection to that original kind of tail again, because I wanted to feel more monstery and not just like it's just a piece of meat, you know. I wanted to feel like, yeah, we cooked a monster here. Like this is not just any old thing. You should make the lizard tail green to stand out from the reddish and orange carrot. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I could like make like the scales almost like we took a bit of them, but not too many of them, kind of thing, and like make them more green. Yeah, that works. I could do that. Um, so something like this. I did forget to add the little berry fruit at the end. We'll see. Maybe I just don't. We'll see later. Uh, because I also want to make another one today, apart from this one. So we did the kind of like crispy, deep fried octorok on Monday, and I had a couple of ideas. I also wanted to do a moblin because I think the nose is also a pretty recognizable thing. So I'm gonna chop up its nose and put it on top of rice. So we're gonna get that one as well. So yeah, not super like visible, but just like a little bit of this idea of the scales through it to kind of like remind us of that. And now with a way like darker brown and maybe going somewhat even more into those purples, I'm gonna start doing some of the sear lines. So that's gonna be fun. Stick a berry on on the spear point, lol. Have to go for a meeting. We'll catch you next week. Bye, Kyle. Have a nice one. Thank you for showing up, man. Good luck with the meeting. See ya. Oh man, okay. Bup. Let's maybe. Yeah, let's do some of the seer lines. Not do them in a very cartoony way, because like Breath of the Wild is quite cartoony, thankfully. So yeah, I think I want to do them in a bit of a cartoony, exaggerated way. Most of the things I do are like more of in a cartoony, exaggerated way. So like I'm gonna give them a little bit of taper, like this. I don't know if just doing a single line of sear or like going across. I think I like going across with the parallels. It also helps define the kind of like 3D dimensionality, 3D-ness, the volumes of our thing. I use the words three-dimensionality a lot. I don't think that's a word, but I use it a lot. So yeah, something like that essentially gives us the opportunity to, with these sort of parallel lines, by curving them a little bit, we're defining the actual like edges of this a bit more, and also implying that like they were like seared on a hot grill as well as like skewered cooked. um would that take a lot longer? Probably. Is that kind of needless? Yeah, but it looks cool, and rule of cool always wins. So yeah, if you don't know the rule of cool, if something looks cool, you do it. Yeah. In art, the rule of cool tends to win. Okay. Yeah, that's already giving this meat like a really good kind of feel of like, yeah, this has been seared to hell and back kind of thing. So I like that. Okay, so something like this. And I think I take you up on that idea for like the green tail for sure. Okay, something like this. I'm wondering, can you? Man, I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom in a while. I was like thinking about the sap lemons, the like electric lemon things that we added to our meal on Monday stream, and I was wondering if like you can actually eat the lemons or not, or, like cook them into things or not, because they are a fruit, so you'd think so, but I don't know if they'd give you any effects at all. I think they're just mostly just used for like chucking at things, which is a well worthwhile use. Like you can chuck them, you can put them on arrows and weapons and stuff, so it's pretty nice mechanics wise. But I don't know if that adds too much to the food. That was another complaint I have with Tears of the Kingdom. While we're at it, not enough like mechanical changes to the food system. It's like just kind of the same with like a bunch of dishes added and a couple of effects that mostly have to do with gloom, and nothing else that I can really remember. There might have been something else they changed, then I might be being a bit unkind here, but they did add cheese, which led to pizza being there, and we do have tomatoes now, which I do appreciate, but I don't know. Felt a bit lackluster. Um, I would have taken a. Yeah, I don't mind things like the reuse of the map, but it didn't feel like the map was like, I mean, they didn't have that much time to make this game. They should have had a lot more time to make the game. But it didn't feel like the map had like enough changes going on. Like there was a lot going on, but like it didn't really like feel like, oh yeah, this is the like the new version of the old thing that you know and love. Like that's the thing I really liked about Breath of the Wild. There's like a lot of different corners with a lot of different like interesting ideas and concepts and things. And I feel like Tears of the Kingdom just like doesn't explore that. And then it's kind of sad. Burp. Yeah, something like that. Making sear lines with me, Gonzalo. Yay. Okay, something like that. I think works pretty cool for sear lines. Let's merge these together. Why did I separate them? I don't know. There we go, something like that. I'm gonna cut you off short. Um, because then I'm gonna do the scale thing going up there. Okay, cool. So I think that's pretty cool for the sear lines. I think that really adds a lot to that. And we're gonna add some of the shine and stuff a bit later. So I'm just gonna focus on getting the kind of like insight. So for that part of the meat, I think I want to go with something slightly more yellowish, like slightly lighter kind of thing. Yeah, something like that. Just to like show like the pockets of fat and stuff that the meat has. Um, yeah, and then I'll add some pink in the center. But yeah, just wanna kind of like outline it with the fats. Boop. Like there's a layer of fat between like the outside and the inside kind of thing. Is that 100% accurate? Probably not, but it's fine. It's fictional food. As long as the vibes are right, with a lot of art, it's less about like the actual, with a lot of like storytelling art in general, like a lot of things, it's less about the actual like reality of it and more the vibes of it. The reason we use a lot of reference and things like that, it's because we want to make sure that like whether or not we want to be realistic is up to us and not a case of like, oh, I just didn't know any better. So like, yeah, it really doesn't need to be one to one at all. Oh, I should have done that in a different layer so I could, yeah, I'm gonna do that in a different layer so I can control the like opacity of it. So let's go back to this guy. So I do want to control the opacity so I can blend it in a little bit more. I love working digitally because it allows me to do things like that. I don't need to pick the perfect color from the get-go. I can like blend things a little bit or like play around with some things. Um, just takes the pressure off a little bit, you know? It's hard to pick the perfect color, and I'm not that good at color in the first place, so it is nice to have like a little bit of an opportunity to like play around with these things a bit more. So like here, I'm gonna make these kind of like shapes that are kind of present if you look at the tail. If you guys see here, if you guys see like the tail has like these kind of like ideas of like where the meat starts kind of thing, and these are like the scales from the top. So like we're gonna add like the scales on the top of the tail kind of thing. But yeah, like it has like these little gaps there, so I'm going to try to mimic those here. So like even though we don't see a lot of that, we still get the idea of it. Boop. It's about suggestion, really. So here, like this big chunks divided by those little lines of fat. And in this one, we're going to see more of them, so this is going to be a lot easier because we get to see the whole thing. And then we just do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then kind of like a more bluish. I'm gonna go with like a more bluish or like even greenish color for the bone to create that bit of contrast. Maybe I do want to warm it up. I don't know. It'll warm up when I do this. So. Okay, like that, because I do want to keep it a bit darker, so it does look cooked. I don't want it to look raw. But then I can come back with that original color of like the fat and use it to like create a little bit of highlights. Even though I haven't started with highlights yet, just a little bit, give it some shine. Actually, because of that, I would probably get some over here. Yeah, something like that. Fun. Highlights are fun. But yeah, something like that already gives us a pretty cool starting point with this. Let's add some of the greens to the tail so we can move on to some of the vegetables, like our nice root vegetables. But yeah, I might have to redo a little bit of the line right here, but that's fine. Because I just didn't really think of it when I was doing the liners. But yeah, something like this, like a nice bright green. Okay, let's redo some of this liner. So I'm gonna go back to the black liners. Let's do like this, and let's add a little bit of that. So let's make some of these scales like visible and three-dimensional and looking like they're being peeled off slowly like that. That's pretty good. Hey yo, Wingsmay, welcome. We're continuing with Monday stream and drawing more monster food. Yay. Something like this. You're back. Welcome back. Yeah, something like this I think works kind of okay for like the scales. Yeah, something like that I think. Um, there's going to be a thing where like the scales kind of like stick to the top side of the thing, not the bottom. So maybe we do, yeah, sorry. A little bit of bumpiness throughout here and stuff to like emphasize the presence of the scales. and some of this. Yeah, something like that, I think. Maybe a small scale over there. Cool, 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 cool. I like this. This is awesome. Okay, so gonna duplicate this guy and put it under here. Smooth it so you guys can see what's going on. So I'm gonna duplicate this guy. I'm gonna take the color that we're working with. The most common one is this dark one, and I'm gonna just focus on this bit. So I change the line art just in this bit, so everything else can go. Boop. I can get rid of that, and then just color this part. This is simply so like the actual like line art that we're working with. When we do the transparency thing, like it does color and doesn't like get the color of the background kind of thing. And then we can get a new one here and do a little bit of just filling in. Cool. We're gonna color that green anyways. It's just so the line artist kind of thing. And then we do the thing that we talked about before, where we essentially just grab the line art, do the dark purple for one of them, set it to overlay, and then the set that to overlay, and then we have like the dark the black one on top at like a lower opacity. Amazing. And we're back, and it's almost like nothing happened. Wow, incredible. Okay. So this is kind of the green that the Lizalfo is working with, but it feels a bit too saturated. I do want to make it dark and desaturated. I like the fact that it's cold, but because we're working with a lot of warm tones, I don't want to push the colors too cold in general. So I'm going to keep it more desaturated, which is still going to pop a lot in contrast to things. But yeah, something like that, I think. And then as we go on, yeah, and we can also add a little bit of that yellow that like the kind of like Lizalfo has with the green to like create a little bit of fading from one like from the uncooked area to the cooked area kind of thing. I'm doing this in a different layer so I don't have to worry too much about overlapping, and then just gonna erase the bits that I don't like. Yeah, full on laziness. Yeah, something like that. So like you can get like that little bit of a back and forth with that. So I'm gonna also blend the green color a bit more with this cooked red, so like it ends up becoming less green, because I don't like how green it is. Like I want it to be green, but not that noticeable green. So something like that that becomes less saturated, I think works well. And then we're gonna get some variance to the green scales there, because they have some variance in the game. There's like a little bit of variety to like the hues of green that we have there. So let's add some variety to them. So some of these scales are going to be lighter, some of these scales are going to be a little darker, and it helps with like creating a little bit of a scaly texture throughout this. So yeah, let's something like this. Amazing. I think that's pretty good. I think that like brings in those original colors of the Lizalfo just in case they were a bit lost. So cooked carrots. Carrots stay pretty consistent color wise, like when they're raw versus when they're cooked. So we're gonna go with a pretty consistent kind of color. We're gonna keep them orange, which is what they tend to be. We do have white carrots and purple carrots, I think, but they're not in the game. So yeah. Also, we're gonna add some white with the radish here, with the heart-shaped radishes. So just a little bit of carrots. And this speedy one I think has a different color. I think it's a darker color, I think, more reddish. So this one's going to be a different color. Also gives us some variety between the vegetables. We don't want them all to look exactly the same. And this is before any kind of like lighting is going to, like, we're gonna come in and like do some cast shadows between the different objects and stuff. We're just like working in the base colors without like any shading really. Something like this. Cool. Maybe a little green to the tips of the carrots. We can use a similar green to this one. Maybe make it a little bit colder. A similar one nonetheless. To add some color to the tips of the carrots. Cool. And I'm gonna go in with like a spray brush and like green up the beginning points. Delete everything around it, but just to blend some green color into the orange, create a little bit of a transition, because they do get a little bit green up there. Not a lot, just a little bit, to give them a little bit of that. Yeah, something like that. Cool. Awesome. So let's do a little bit of like sear lines as well in the carrots, I think. So these are going to be a lot more bright red than the dark brown sear lines on the other thing, because, you know, carrots. So something like this. Maybe some, we need to wrap them a bit more around the shape of the body. Something like that for sear. Almost as if they were all seared individually, then like staked together and cooked over a fire. I don't actually know the exact steps of preparation for this meal, but it is okay because we get like baked pizzas cooked in woks in Breath of the Wild, so it's not like they're very consistent with the exact methodology of preparation of things anyways. But yeah, so something like this, or like they're all a little seared. I think that looks pretty good. Will you add glistening fat at the end? Yes, we're gonna make it glisten a lot at the end. I'm just getting like the basic colors down, but we're gonna add a lot of glisten at the end. There's gonna be a lot of shine and a lot of like fat, especially on the meat. There's gonna be a lot of shine. We might even add some like little droplets of like the meat juices coming down. That sounds gross when I say it like that, but you guys know what I mean. Yeah. We're gonna make this look delectable as heck. Like, you're going to want to have a bite of this weird monster lizard tail after you see what it looks like at the end. That's kind of like the goal with these. Similar to like Dungeon Meshi, I want you to look at these and be like, yeah, I know it's a monster, but also it looks delicious, so I try it anyways. Um, It's like kind of like shrimp. Like, shrimp are just like ocean bugs, but we still eat them because they taste good and they look nice. So, like, when you take all the shell off. I actually, we were at a restaurant this I want to say Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. We were celebrating St. Patrick's Day because that's my mom's name, so you know it's her saint day. And we were celebrating and we were out as a family, and this one restaurant had what I think was pistol shrimp. I tried it for the first time. It's okay. Shrimp tastes better than pistol shrimp, turns out. But yeah, no, it was one of those things where like when you look at it, you're like, yeah, no, this is a bug. Like, if shrimp look a little like a bug, pistol shrimp look like a lot like a bug. Like, it's almost like an ocean mantis. Like, it's insanely like buggy. So that was like one of those things where I was like, if like someone's like squeamish, I don't think they're eating this. Um, it wasn't really worth it. Honestly, it was just okay. Uh, not as good as the shrimp. A little like weird taste, but it was nice. I like trying new things, so like I'm happy I tried it. And it's not like they prepared it in any special way. It was just like seared in a wok. So yeah. Hmm. I'm doubting the searing lines on the carrots. Not because it would be wrong to have sear lines on the carrots. I don't care that like they wouldn't sear exactly the same way. I feel like they add too much busyness. Yeah, I'm taking those out. Thank God I spent a while on them. Okay, so now we're doing the heart-shaped radishes things. That's more of like a pink color. This is great because the things we've chosen kind of have a similar color scheme. So they kind of like work together pretty well. Um, so the radishes have kind of like an outside, like a more reddish pink outside, and then the inside is more white. When you see bug like sea creatures, I feel my appetite fading. Yeah. Yeah. No, I've grown up eating a lot of sea arthropods and mollusks, so I'm kind of just like used to it. To a point where like when I see certain ones, I'm like, ooh, delicious. But yeah, it is kind of weird that we eat a bunch of sea insects and sea slugs, essentially. I know they're not like biologically the same thing, but practically like they kind of are the same thing. It is kind of weird that a lot of us eat those without question. I like them though; they taste good. So hey, find fountain waters, welcome, welcome. Wait, no, Fontanian waters, Fontanian waters. God, I'm so bad at these usernames, guys. Fontanian waters. I want to say Fontanian waters. Welcome, welcome. We're drawing monster food. Yay, monster food. Okay, so heart-shaped radishes. Breath of the Wild specifically, like Zelda Breath of the Wild monster food. Um, what is the name for like that specific like Zelda? Because like there's a couple of games that take place in like that storyline and that like universe. Because I mean I know there's a Zelda timeline, but like those games are not really that connect interconnected at all. So like there's like four games that take place in the is it called like the Wild Era or something like that? I don't know. I feel like it should have like a generic name for that. I'm currently working on a comic page. Ooh, nice. Well, I'm glad you're able to tune into stream because we get to work together. That's one of the fun things about streaming, I think. Um, it's a good excuse to like get your get the thing that you've been having to do for like drawing or work for a while and be like, okay, gonna sit down and we're gonna do work. Okay, so something like this. Let me go a bit more purpley with it and add a little bit of a fade, which is kind of different from the shading, but I do want to have like a bottom to top fade for them. Like the bottom is darker kind of thing. And I'm just gonna erase the stuff that doesn't really hit the thing. I do these in different layers for this specific reason. It's nice to like be able to just erase this without having to redraw everything. That's quite nice. Um, Sometimes I just sit in VC with friends and draw together. It helps. It generally does, yeah. A lot of the times when like I have to do some work that I really don't want to do, and so does my partner, we just like get together quietly. We have our headphones on. We're listening to like our like video essays or our music or whatever the heck, and we just sit silently and do our work. There's something about knowing there's someone else doing the thing with you that just kind of helps actually do it. So yeah, it's nice. Yeah, something like that. I think that adds a little bit of a fun thing to it. So I'm gonna on a different layer just go with like an almost pure white, not like exactly a pure white, but like almost, and add this here. Okay, fantastic. You're working on an animation project. Oh wow, body doubling. Yeah, you're working on an animation project. That sounds amazing. What kind of thing are you animating, Mahi? Do. I'm there's a friend of mine who's like trying to get an animated short financed at the moment, and he's asking me a lot about animation. And he's a director, not an artist, really. Like not a like a drawing artist, I guess, because I mean, direct like filmmaking is its own form of art. But like, yeah, he's asking me a lot of different things, a lot of different questions, because he's like trying to prep like a bunch of things to show some investors and things, and it's been really fun trying to explain animation to him. He's even like just starting to do some courses on it. He's the type of director you kind of want to work with because it's like I'm not going to ask you to do something I don't understand kind of vibes. So he's like, oh, if I want to work in animation, I need to understand animation, which I appreciate a lot, honestly. Music video for fan art, lol. Oh, fun. I was giving feedback on music video like animatic just yesterday for one of the students. Yeah, that's a fun one. I love me like music video fan art. Haven't really done one of those. I probably should. I feel like they're really really cool projects. Maybe we can do one of those together, and I'll do like we'll do like a tutorial on like storyboarding or something, like doing animatics set to music. Yeah, if it's a music video, honestly, I would start with like a rough storyboard, but like I would try to jump into the animatic as quickly as possible, because you kind of want to get the timing right when it comes to like animating things to music. That like timing is so important. So not that timing isn't important normally, but like at least for like even just the storyboard, like you really need to get things in line with the actual song. Prettied up an animated illustration these past few days. Can't imagine doing a full animation. Oh yeah. Animation is a lot of work. You guys know that actually I can show you right now, but like the little like starting soon animation that you see here with the little ladybug coming in and doing just a little, oh, now the clock works. Frickin' off, frick off. Um yeah, sorry, I had trouble with the countdown clock today as well. But that little animation of like the ladybug just doing that, yeah, that whole screen with like the background and the looping animation, all that kind of stuff, it took me about 3 days. So yeah, animation takes a while. Automatic attempt was me moving layer because I couldn't figure out Clip Studio. Yeah, yeah. I direct and storyboard. I feel like my storyboard skills are a bit lacking, but I try. And color shade composites. Yeah. No, storyboard is like one of those things that you do want to like practice a lot, especially if like you like directing and stuff. That's definitely like something you want to look into. Yeah, I'll have to do a video on storyboarding. I'll do like a basics of storyboarding. Might be less fun than normal. Maybe I'll do like I prepare a presentation or something with some examples and do like a full on like kind of lessony thing. Be less of a fun stream, but yeah, I also don't want to sear the vegetables. I don't think that looks good either. Mm. It's too busy. It adds too much, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the vegetables unseared. We're just gonna assume they're cooked. Root vegetables don't really change their look too much when they're cooked. They kind of change their texture. So yeah, I'm just gonna. And I don't eat radishes enough to like know. But yeah, it's fine. Good thing about vegetables, you can eat them raw. So. Oh, I should have done that in a different layer. Oh no. There we go. Okay, fantastic. Uh, I'm on CSP. I don't know what CSP is. Is that a program? Clip Studio Paint? Clip Studio Paint. Yes, I got it. I got it. My dumbass brain understood. Yes, 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 yes. Clip Studio Paint. I've never tried Clip Studio Paint. I remember I downloaded the trial one time to test it out, and then I just forgot to. Yeah, no, I've never tried it. I've been having a lot of fun with Procreate since my family got me an iPad for my last birthday, which is really nice of them. I really like it. Um, so I've been trying clips not Clips to Paint, Procreate, and they have this one program that's also Procreate. It's called Procreate Dreams, and I've been trying to do the animation there, and the animation from the starting soon screen was done there, so it's pretty fun. Ooh, fountain waters. No, not fountain. Fontanian waters. God, I'm so bad at pronouncing things in English. Fontanian waters. Yeah, Cliff Studio Paint as well. Nice, amazing. We have a Cliff Studio Paint gang over here. Okay, so something like this. Let's get the colors down for the skewer, aka the spear. I'm gonna incredibly desaturated browns for this one. Maybe more orangey ones, so like they stand out a lot more, something like that. Yeah, something like that, maybe a bit darker. But yeah, something like this that's a bit more orangey just to stand out more against the meat. Um, the browns are just desaturated warm colors, honestly. And sometimes they're not even warm colors, they're just desaturated cold colors. And yeah, and for the spear stuff, I'm gonna go with very gray, like very dark gray greens, I think. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, amazing. Gotta get darker than this, I think, but yeah. Yeah, something like that for like the basic thing. And yeah, and it has believe it has like a greenish tint. Let me look at the spear again. um does it have a greenish tint? I feel like it does, right? Yeah. To do breath of the wild spear. Traveler's spear does have kind of like a yeah, it's kind of like a green actually. Yeah. Okay. Like the wraps are kind of green, so we're gonna do that then. That's perfect. That works out really well with what we're doing here. I'll try Toon Boom for animation. Ooh, Toon Boom's really good for animation. The only problem for me with Toon Boom is that it's quite expensive, but I really like Toon Boom. I used Toon Boom's storyboard pro for like a while. When I was doing a specific course because they gave us access to it. Great stuff. And yeah, I really liked it. It's just it's quite expensive as a program. So like I really haven't used it since I like specifically used it during like my like sort of masters thing that I did on storyboarding. So like yeah, since then I really haven't used it too much just because it's quite expensive. Okay, so yeah, I don't like the green there too much, so I might go with like a lighter wrap. I might ignore the actual reference and do whatever the heck I want. Yay. Do, 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 do. Yeah, more yellowish wrap. I think that works nice. Brings yeah, more contrast with the tail. Because otherwise the shape of the tail like blends in too much with the green and then becomes a bit confusing. So yeah, doing something like this might make it darker, but aside from that, yeah, definitely darker. But yeah, aside from that, I think that's a lot better. Yeah, that's nicer. Okay, cool. So kind of all the base colors are done. So now it's a case of like adding that like lighting and the most important thing, the shines. And then we can add some like smoke effects as well to make this look nice and hot. But yeah, so let's add some lighting. So we're gonna start with some of the shadows. Gonna go with kind of like a dark red for these. Just starting on a different layer, and I'm gonna start with some of the cast shadows. I want to have like the lighting be kind of like coming from here essentially. So yeah, because I want the shines at the very top of the stuff. So yeah, something like this. Just for like the volume and cast shadows. I'm gonna go way darker with this. Um, but yeah, I'll change the colors a little bit of the shadows, like depending on the object that they're being cast on, just to like make them work. But for now, I just want to work with just the one flat color because I'm lazy. I don't want to be having to change colors every few seconds. So yeah, something like this, where like essentially you get all the darks happening here. And then I'm gonna like blend them out a bit as well. Okay. Again, going a bit generic with it for now, but just generally trying to figure out what like the three-dimensional shapes I'm looking at are, and blocking out where like those things wouldn't be hit by a light that's like coming from this angle, from above. So like yeah, it'd be like I can then I'll come back with an eraser, like a soft eraser, to soften some of these shadow transitions. But I like starting with like more harsh ones, to be honest. I prefer like starting with some harsh shadows first. Um, it's just kind of quicker. So something like this. Uh, there's going to be some like shadow cast by these scales. The scales themselves are going to cast some shadows on each other, kind of thing. And then this thing is going to be mostly like a little bit of light on a dark area. And then for the pole, just this bit of doop. This whole area is probably going to be in shadow. Something like that. Okay, cool. And same thing over here. So yeah, just essentially casting everything into the dark. Into the dark for whence it came. Which creature and dish is it that you are drawing this time? So, Wingsmith, this time I'm doing a Lizalfo's tail, which is this funny looking chameleon guy. Let me show you my reference. It's this guy's tail, and it's going to be skewered and seared. It's this little guy. I really like the design of the Lizalfos from the Breath of the Wild. Like, the fact that they went for more chameleons makes them look really silly. But also like really aware and agile. Like I really like these bodies. They're so funny. And then I'm gonna try to do this one, like hopefully, and like for another couple hours if I get the energy to draw for another hours. We're gonna cook this guy after, but yeah, we're cooking this guy now. Probably using one of his own spears to cook him. We're adding a little bit of vegetables to this one though. Because seared meat on its own, it's too much, you know? We need a little bit of veggies. Also, this is a gigantic, absolutely gigantic. So I'm setting this layer to multiply and just darkening things. So you can see using a darker, like the same dark color for everything kind of like takes away a lot of the color vibrancy for things. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to select different darks for each one of these elements and then like change them out now. So like a more pinkish dark color for these little like whatchamacallem, I forgot their name. Radishes, yeah, the radishes. But yeah, this is a meal for like a bunch of people. Like half of this steak would make me full. So yeah, it's a big meal, but we want to make it funny and keep it to scale. And if we scale it down too much, then it's not going to look like a Lizalfos anymore. So it's okay to make these giant monster meals. I think also like for a monster meal, you would get something bigger as well anyways. Not like Link has a problem munching. The man eats everything and anything, so the size of some of the meals he consumes in this specific game is insane. So I think he's gonna be okay. I think he will be very much fine. So yeah, just going for like darker oranges for like these. I do want to keep them in shadow, but I don't want to lose the like a lot of the vibrancy that they have. I don't want to lose too much of the vibrancy that they have. So very kind of like saturated dark oranges for these to keep that vibrant color, and same for this one with a bit more red in it. There you go. And then similar thing for like the greens. I also want some like green for the shadows here, because you can see already like how it adds a lot of vibrancy to it. Like we kind of took away a lot of the color by like darkening it with that specific brown kind of thing, where like now as we add a desaturated green, it's starting to gain a lot of that back. So dark orange for this yellow parts. Yeah, something like that. And then I'm also going to, oh wait, I need to finish the spear first. So for the spear, this one's going to be more of a dark red for the wood. Just not going to change too much. Dark yellow for like the grippy part, and a lot lighter one of that. Yeah, I do make weird noises. like weird filler noises. I'm just, yeah, I've been realizing that lately. Don't know. There's something about streaming that makes you a bit more self-conscious about the things that come out of your mouth. Something like that. I think that looks nicer. And yeah, and then we'll add some highlights to like make the metal look reflective and stuff. But I think that's a lot nicer. So I'm also going to grab the soft eraser tool and kind of like soften up some of these shadows, this transitional shadows, especially for like the rounder places. Um, yeah, soften these up a bit so they don't look as harsh. Not all of them, but like a lot of this stuff is very round, so like the rounder ones, I do want to soften them up. So like actually pretty much most of these shadows are going to be softer than I sort of drew them in the first place. But yeah, and these ones a bit. Okay, cool. Yeah, so like they're a lot softer shadow wise, but I think they work really well with this. So these are our shadows, and now we're gonna do highlights. Cool, 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 cool. So there we go. Oh, I forgot to soften these bits up because I do want some like light coming in through here. These bits at the top. There we go. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So, now that these are kind of done, we move on to the highlights, which are fun. Okay, let's start with the metal. Metal's always kind of fun to highlight. It's very reflective, even though this is going to be kind of a dull metal. There's going to be some reflection going on over here. It's a sharp spear at the end of the day. So, you know, some sharpness going on. Mostly edge reflections and stuff. But yeah, something like that. Dull it out a bit because again, it's not the sharpest of spheres. It's not. We don't want to call too much attention to it. We just want to acknowledge its metalness. And same with this guy over here. Oops, wrong layer. Bloop. There we go. Something like that. Yeah. That's nice. Okay. So yeah, so that's the metal done. Let's focus on the food now. Yes, okay. So let's make this meat look as delectable and delicious as humanly possible. So we're gonna add some nice little reflections and some nice little sear to it. So I'm gonna start with like, weirdly enough, a darker red color and this kind of like airbrush. I'm gonna kind of like sear like parts of it a bit more, like almost like some burnt parts, like this, kind of like emphasize the bits that have been like in direct contact with the thing. Set this to multiply. Yeah, like that. I want to emphasize the actual like contact that it has made with the thing. I feel like you guys can see already like the difference there. So that looks a lot more seared. And now we're gonna add some really nice highlights to this. Also sticking to the warms, maybe a little orange. Yeah, sticking to warm colors. It's good for this. And just gonna like straight up draw some like edge highlights to begin with, just to highlight the shape of the meat itself. Yeah, give it some, make it feel kind of wet. Oh man, weird terminology, but yeah, we're making sexy food, guys. It's part of it. So we're gonna edge highlight these bits a bit like that. We know where the light is coming from, so we're essentially just creating a little bit of almost like kind of a sensation of like backlight or like very intense reflection, because it's quite I don't want to say wet again. But yeah, the meat is that just makes it worse. The meat is quite juicy. Nope, nope, that one either. Drawing food is bad. Uh, okay. It's got meat juices. Nope, nope. Okay, well, you guys get it. It's reflective. We're gonna set that to screen, so I can lower the opacity a little bit and just keep the colors down. It's oiled up. Oh no, that's so much worse, Maddie. Uh, I'm just looking at the references of like the real seared meat and stuff like that I have on here, and you can see how much like reflectiveness there is on the fat portions. Uh, so that's kind of what I'm trying to replicate in a more like simplistic and cartoony way. Oh God. Yeah. So because the seers are not like two-dimensional, like they have some depth to them, we're also going to add that like little bits of reflection through these because they are at the end of the day like these almost like holes that are being like pushed into the meat when it goes up against the grill. So they're gonna have like you can see from afar how that like gives it that pillowy kind of like feeling to it. So we're gonna try to go with that, and again like highlighting the kind of like edges that would get caught by the light. Like light really likes catching edges, and especially when those edges are wet. Yes, wet. Wet, oily, moist meat. Yes. We're getting demonetized, folks. Yeah, okay. So stuff like this, essentially, like you can see I'm not being very precious about it, just like yeah, little bit of touches and stuff, but it really adds so much. Look at how much more delectable that meat already looks. Um, and these are pretty simple or like bits of like reflection that we're adding to it. So yeah, it's it's pretty nice. We get a lot of bang for our back. A buck. A bang for our buck. Gosh, pronunciation sometimes. Hey, yeah, if you guys don't know, I'm not I'm not a native English speaker, so sometimes it slips. Yeah. Okay. So I want to do a way brighter general highlight. Like at least like very bright in the corner kind of thing. Because I'm kind of really liking how these reflections are turning out. And I'm actually going to put that on top of the line art layer to make sure that like I can like make it the exact shape that I want to, and I'm not constrained by like the precision of the line art. Something like this. The lack of precision of the line art, more like in this case. Yeah, something like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can see how like this really helps already highlight this kind of thing. Okay. Oh, that's looking nice. Okay, okay, okay. So let's transfer this kind of same idea to the rest of the meat. Although I do want to, yeah, I'm gonna do like a crisscross kind of like swirly reflection here to like make emphasize the again wetness. Yeah, here right at the edge. Okay. This is kind of like an edge highlight for like a thing that has a pretty rounded edge, essentially. So like it's the point where like there you would have a fold. Like if this was a cube, I'm highlighting this bit over here, but because it's not a cube and it's more like this kind of like rounded thing, I'm going with like a more like a highlight kind of that. I don't know exactly why that happens, but I know it happens from like looking at things, looking at stuff and things. So I'm going to create a highlight over that specific edge to, yeah, to match this kind of thing. So again, with a soft eraser, I'm kind of like taking a bit out of it, make sure that like most of the light gets pushed to one side, and then setting that to screen as well. Yeah, something like that. It's more of a secondary kind of like highlight, but you know, you can see already how like how much it adds to the delectiveness of the meat. Makes it very sexy meat. Trying out book binding to make a scene. Ooh, that's so fun, Wingsmay. I love that. Oh, I've watched a bunch of videos on book binding. It looks so fascinating. Like I love me a nice bound book. Yeah, and I want to make a scene really bad. There's it's one of those things that I really kind of want to do. It's a really cool thing to have, honestly. Actually, that might be a cool thing to do for the UK for the London Comic Con this May. Might want to make a scene for that. Maybe a really tiny one just to give out to random people I meet. But yeah, that could be a fun one. I like me a scene. Maybe we stream a scene project. At the end of the day, streams are just an excuse for me to actually do stuff. So yeah, maybe we do a scene on stream at some point. We work on something interesting. We could do an entire scene on monster fruits actually. That could be a fun one. But yeah. Okay, so some highlighting gonna go on here to the thing. By stitching it through the middle and then diagonal across again. I already created my own stitch lol. Ooh, nice. Scene stream. Yeah. I think honestly like finding like a specific topic and doing like some comic stuff mixed with some of my drawings. I could even like grab some of like my character arc from like the last year and stuff and like work it into a scene. Though the problem with that is that I do use a lot of colors, so it's going to be quite expensive to print out. But we'll see. Maybe I could do like a black and white comic or something like that. Yeah, I need to get some business cards too for like that because I feel like I want to go into the artist alley and like meet a bunch of new artists and stuff. Even though I'm not selling anything, I'm not gonna have a stall. Yeah, I love getting contacts with like new artists and things. So yeah, having some like business cards with some of my art on them. Eh, and my socials and things just to keep in contact with them. It's always also nice to collect art business cards. I don't know if you guys do that, but I have like a pretty nice collection of artist business cards. Because, yeah, artists that have like work on like cons or like markets and things like that, they tend to have very cool custom business cards that kind of reflect this specific art style that they work on and things. So it's a fun thing. I really like collecting those. They're like my Pokemon card collection, but my my art person collection. Okay, so we're gonna add some reflections as well here to our like vegetables. So kind of like mimicking this kind of same idea that we had with the steaks. We're rounding out and creating these kind of like very reflective points. And then when we set that to screen, it's gonna be pretty bright. So yeah, something like that. We don't want it to be as shiny as the steaks themselves because we don't want them to take too much away from our shiny steaks. Our beautiful, beautiful shiny babies. But yeah, we do want to add some shine to them. Uh, there wouldn't be any shine there because it's a dark point of darkness. I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, kind of gonna go over these a bit. Take the shine away from the sear points because they're kind of like 3D, so they're kind of like a hole. Essentially, yeah, that's better. Yeah, sorry, got sidetracked. Let's go back to these guys. Yeah, the radishes. I keep forgetting their name. Heart-shaped radish thingies. Nice. Okay, and again, softening up the edges a little bit to get some sort of variation there. And then set that to, oh, it's already set to screen, lower the opacity a little bit. We get that nice little shiny look to them. They're pretty greased up. Everything here is pretty greased up because we cooked it. So, yeah. Carrots, you're next. Let's go with a sunny yellow, bright sunny yellow for you guys. And carrots have like a pretty like rough texture to them with like all these like repeating kind of lines. So I'm gonna kind of like introduce some of them through the shines here, like some of the wrinkles that carrots have. So we haven't peeled these; they're just like full on like unpeeled carrots. This is monster cooking. It doesn't need to be that fancy, especially at this scale. So yeah, something like that. Also, I feel like the more you the more you actually prepare food, the less recognizable it becomes. And for this specific the design prompt is to make monster food, so I want it to be recognizable as monster food. We're not like a delicious in dungeon dungeon meshi. We don't have like a whole hour of someone explaining exactly how they prepare it before you actually see the food. So we kind of want to make sure that we call back to that raw element with it. It's why we have we leave the scales on the tail and things of that sort. Like we want to make sure that it is recognizable first and foremost as that specific monster, as food that comes from that specific monster. So yeah, it's one of those things, like one of the limitations that we kind of give ourselves in order to make the visual language feel a lot clearer. So we said you to screen, and again shiny but not too shiny. There we go, fantastic. Okay, that's pretty neat. I think I'm gonna try and build up a little bit more shine with the meat parts. Maybe even give them some kind of steam coming out, and some droplets of. Gosh, this feels like drawing NSFW art, but it's just food. Some sweat droplets. But yeah, it's to be honest, it's not too different. Yeah, we're making sexy food. We did say that last time, so we're kind of back into the sexy food stuff. Yeah, we're just gonna draw a little bits of droplets here, to make this food as juicy as humanly possible. The meat is going to be dripping. Gosh, I hate myself. The amount of clips you could take from this stream out of context is horrific. But yeah, something like this I think feels quite nice. Yeah. Let's put this on top of the line art layer actually. Make sure that these bits are seen and the edges. But yeah, something like this I think feels pretty nice for the meat. It's a bit gross really, but it also makes it feel nicer. So it's a bit of both. Like, it's kind of a balance. Um, yeah. I don't know how much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. Let's be a bit more subtle about this. Let's add a couple of droplets, and that's about it. The ones that are catching the light here. Yeah. We don't want to go too hard with it, just a little bit. Especially near these kind of edges where the light is hitting. Just a couple per piece of meat at most. Yeah, I think that's better. Sometimes it's better to limit yourself a little bit. This one gets 3. And then this one gets just a couple as well. Maybe thick one over there. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Yeah, I think that works quite okay. And then, yeah, I think that works kind of okay. It's a little bit, but don't want it to be too much. Let's make this one a bit more subtle. A little bit. It implies juiciness without going too hard on it, I think. Yeah, I think that's pretty neat. Okay. So this is our spearhead slash Lizalfo's tail. We haven't added a lot of highlights to the actual spear part, this bit over here. So let's add a little bit of highlight to it because it's cloth. It's gonna be a bit more textured over here, rougher than the actual shininess of that one. And same with this one, it's wood, so just maybe a little bit of wood grain or something like that. And same below, right at the edge. And And then maybe just a little bit more shininess on the metal parts because I feel like maybe they're not shiny enough, especially compared to how shiny the meat is. Like I feel like now we can do it without taking too much away from the meat because that's why I was afraid and that's why I kind of dulled them down a bit. But now that there's like a lot more shine going on in like the rest of the stuff in general, I feel like it can fit without like taking too much away. There we go. Something bright like this. And then soften just a few of those edges around. Okay, cool. Awesome. So that's screen. And there we go. Something like that. Again, it's shiny, but it's not as shiny as the as the meat, so it doesn't take over as much. We do need some reflection, like bounce light kind of thing. I'm gonna just use the same color, honestly. Just a little bit of bounce light, especially on the metal. I'm gonna make it very subtle, but just a little bit of bounce light over there on the metal. It's not gonna be too bright, but just something. To again, like it's metal, it's kind of reflective, and we might want to add some. So wrong layer. We might want to add some bounce light on the meat as well. So yeah, something like this. Yeah, something like that. And then maybe some bounce light on the meat itself. And I think we're pretty close to getting to this one. And we're at the 2 hour mark. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to take a break and then we might, I don't know. Maybe take a break and go back. Maybe we're good. I don't know. Do you guys want to one more food drawing? I'm having fun. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It is quite a nice sunny day, and I haven't had a break in a while, so maybe the responsible and healthy thing might be to just call this stream here, but I don't know. It's kind of it's I kind of wanna do a little bit more of this. Also, I drew all of these in the wrong layer. Um, kind of want to do a bit more, more. Okay, we're gonna do the third dish then. The rice bowl with like the pig's nose, essentially. Okay, we'll do the rice bowl with the pig's nose then when we get back. It's your bedtime, Mahi. Oh no. Oh no. Poor Mahi. How late is it right there when you where you're at right now? I really hope it's not too late. You didn't stay up too late for this. I have to leave for class. That looks amazing though. Oh, okay. Thank you, Gio. Thank you for coming in. Have a great class. I hope everything goes well. Let's set this to screen maybe. Screen. Yes. And just a little bit of that bounce line. Just a little bit of that bounce line. Cool, amazing. Uh, it's noon, but I work night shifts. Oh, damn. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's rough. Night shifts. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope then I might. I don't know. I might. I don't know how to do a poll. I know there's a way that I could do a poll. I don't actually know how to. I wish I could. I might do a poll on like whether we should like call it here or continue the stream, but I don't actually know how to make a poll. Great, it's awesome. Um, I need to get me a moderator. Uh, I might ask Kevin and see if he's free. Be like, hey Kevin, do you want to moderate one of my streams? Thank you. Yeah, okay. Let's draw a little bit of smokiness coming in from here. There's a couple of drawings I like how like their smoke was really stylized. It looked kind of fun. So I think I'm gonna like stylize it a lot as well. Um, something like this. There we go. Fun stuff. Something like this. Yeah. Enjoyed my time here with everyone. Shall return next week. See you next week, Mahi. Have a nice one. I'll see you guys Monday. Yeah, we're definitely doing another stream Monday. We might do another two-parter. I kind of like the idea of doing two-parters. And if I'm able to finish some sprites I need for the stream by next week, we might do our first game stream as well. So that's gonna be fun. That's gonna last a bit longer because honestly, it's less work to play games than it is to like draw. So like this will probably last a bit longer. My first stream we did a whole 4 hours. I don't know. I don't know, that was a lot, but yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do a whole 4 hours every single time, but yeah, I might need to take a break for food here. So yeah, I don't really have anything prepped, so I need to just like full on cook myself something. Yeah, I didn't plan this too well. This week's been a bit hectic. Next week's gonna be a lot less intense, thankfully. So hopefully, at least fingers crossed. So yeah, so hopefully I'll be a bit more organized with a bunch of these things. but but yeah, this week is a bit of a mess. Didn't really have time to do like a lot of food prep and stuff. Um, I work weekends, so I've been like, this upcoming weekend is the first one that I'm actually gonna be off of work. So I'm really looking forward to some time off this weekend, to actually relax and get the batteries back up, so we can do more of this fun stuff next week, essentially, like on Monday. So yeah. Um, Hopefully I do have time to do a bit more prep and like have food prepped and stuff, so like for these streams I can like eat in like 10 minutes and then come back, kind of thing. Torture of drawing full while not having eaten. I know, TF. It looks so nice. My wings may. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna do the responsible thing, even though I kind of want to keep hanging with you guys and drawing more food. I think I'm gonna go do the responsible thing and just finish this one and then call it a stream, because we have been going for like a bit over 2 hours now. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Just gonna do finish it up, give it like these final touches, these final like little shiny bits that I want to add, and then just call it and actually go eat something, go on a nice walk before the sun goes down. And yeah, and hopefully next week I can do a longer one and we can stay for a longer time. But yeah, I'm planning on bringing some friends over to draw with me. Hopefully we can do some Gartic phone streams where you guys can join and draw with us as well. So I've got a lot of plans just this week because I was finishing up all the mentorships for Wing Canvas. Since I quit, I wanted to finish everything up before I left. So like there's a bit of stuff going on there that like I had to wrap up before I can like fully commit. But yeah, amazing. Keep an eye out as well if you're interested, this week, before the end of the week, probably either today or tomorrow, I'll be posting like the information if anyone wants to do private classes and stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in that, you don't have to. Like, it's not the only way you can support me. Honestly, just the emotional support of you guys actually showing up to these streams is fantastic. It makes me so happy. Every time I start a stream, I generally expect nobody to show up. So the fact that you guys are here and giving me conversation and keeping me company is amazing. So yeah, if you want to support me, just do that, honestly. But if you're interested in like classes and stuff, I'm going to be posting the details for that, for like the prices and availability and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we could just discuss it and get like custom curriculums. And I'm also planning on doing like larger classes with more people, so that's gonna be fun. Means I can sustain myself and keep doing these free streams for everyone. But yeah, okay. So my sketchbook is being weird. Uh, but yeah, that is. Oh my god, did you get stuck again? Gosh damn it, sketchbook! I thought I fixed this. This was fixed. Why is it? Yeah, probably because I opened Discord at some point and it just freaked out. Oh, here we go. Okay, let's just make sure I save you. But yes, I did. I saved a couple times. You want the larger classes, more ideal pool. Yeah, I like the larger ones as well. Like I'll do like one-on-ones if people want one-on-ones, but my favorite ones are the large classes. I like having a bunch of you in there. It's really fun, and also because sometimes some of us have like bad days and off days, or like days where we just like show up to the class but don't actually draw anything. So I kind of like the more of us there are, the more fun it becomes and the more banter appears. So yeah, I do really like I really do like the larger classes. So hopefully we get a couple of those going. But yeah, all the details will come out between today and tomorrow. You'll see them on my Instagram and on the Blue Sky. I am trying really hard to actually use social media now. It's kind of the only way you guys get to contact me, so I'm like trying really really hard to use social media. Yeah. Or take issues to you, Roro, me, KK. Yeah. No, tech issues are a guarantee in my streams. If there are no tech issues, you're not watching my stream. I did save DF. I'd see, but I do need you guys here to remind me to save. Okay. Now here is okay, perfect, amazing. Gosh darn it. Okay, so I'm gonna put the nice steam on this side to make it nice and delectable, and then here at the bottom we get to write out the actual like dish, which was it called? Lizalfos. I need to Google this to make sure I'm spelling it right. Lizalfo, right? Lizalfo. Skewered Lizalfo is gonna be the name of the dish, I think. So let's oh, what did I do here? Oh, I did something weird with the lines, didn't I? I think I moved something. Okay, 1 second. Boop, 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 boop. Before there was smoke. If I move that, there's something weird going on with the line art. What did I do? What did I do? Maybe nothing? No, I definitely did something. Did I turn this? Did I rotate you? No, I didn't rotate him. Okay, never mind. I didn't do anything weird. Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna take the smoke outside. Okay, okay, okay. Wasn't sure if I like rotated it. No, I think it's just because I didn't go like all the way down with the shading. That's fine. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's just a fun little drawing to show you guys kind of how the power of rendering can make food drawing look really nice and yummy. Okay, so let's do a title. I think we're doing this one in probably let's do an orange maybe for this one. Let's do an orange for this one. We did like lime green for the last one. We could do a green though. I mean, the Lizalfos are kind of green. I don't know. I think no. I think we're gonna. Oh, maybe a pink actually, because I like the heart-shaped pink thing. Yeah, let's do it with pink line. We can choose the color later if not. But it's skewered, which I also need to Google. Rendering the thing I rarely do. Yeah. Crap, I gotta use Insta. Oh my god. Yeah. That's exactly my feeling. Crap, I gotta use Insta. I really don't like using Instagram, or I don't like using social media in general. The only social media that like I frequent nowadays, it's YouTube to watch videos and on Discord because I do work on Discord. And I hang out with some friends on Discord. But I'm terrible at social media, so I'm trying my best to like post every day and keep consistent updates of what's going on, and like be like, hey, starting stream soon, kind of things. Yeah, I'm trying, really, really trying. Skewered. How do you spell skewered? Skewered, not like that. Okay. Skew. Maybe it's with a K. Skewered. Yeah, skewered. Fastened together and pierced by pin or skewer. Okay, so skewered. Wow, English is sure is a language. Is Q Q W R E D skewered. Lizalfo. Skewered Lizalfo. There you go. Something like that. I think I'm making the. I'm gonna tweak the letters a bit. Discord is theoretically more like a chat instead of social media. Yeah, I mean Discord is more like messaging your friends specifically. Yeah. I kind of use it a little bit as social media. Like, I get commissions through it and stuff sometimes, and share my art. But yeah, it is more of a chat than social media for sure. That's kind of why I use it more than social media. I just yeah, whenever I use social media, I either get like stuck and hooked or like depressed. So yeah, it's not something I love right now. So at least in like with Blue Sky, I don't get any of the Nazis that are all over Twitter, so that's definitely an upside. So yeah, so that's why I've got. In case you were wondering, why I've got a Blue Sky, not a Twitter. I just if there's Nazis around, I will start arguing with them. Um, there's something about when you see something you vehemently disagree with that really wants to make like really makes you want to engage. And yeah, and I'm trying to not do that because it's just time wasted arguing with Nazis. But yeah, skewered Lizalfo. Let me double check that I wrote spelled Lizalfo correct. Lizalfo. Yes, I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Amazing. So yeah, this is our skewered Lizalfo. We have um our deep fried octorok, like our octorok rabas from the other day. Let me get them in here. Where are you guys? Right here. There you go. Amazing. So we got our Octorok Rabas, and now we have our Skewered Lizalfo. Amazing. Good stuff, good stuff. Honestly, I think we did manage to make these fruits look quite delicious, despite the fact that they're mostly comprised of monster parts. Yeah, I would 100% eat this, especially right now. I'm really hungry. So yes. I think sadly I'm gonna call it because I think I need a little break, especially a food break. So thank you so much for showing up. Like every single stream so far. I don't expect you to actually be here. So I'm really happy that you guys showed up. And yeah, I know this was a bit less teachy heavy than the Monday one. A bit less of a lecture and more of a just, hey, I'm drawing here kind of thing. So sorry about that. Again, tough week. Um I hope they're going to be more like heavy with actual like insights and art teaching in the future. But yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys on Monday. So see you guys on Monday, 7 p.m. CET. Hope to see you all there. And yeah, liner arc was important. True, TF. I can't believe I've taught you for as long as I have, and I never mentioned the line art thing. Uh, that's kind of on me, honestly. But yeah, so no, I hope you guys had a fun time with this one. I am so hungry right now. Like looking at this is making me hungrier and hungrier. So I hope you guys have the best rest of your days. I will see you all next week, and yeah, just keep an eye out for any information on socials and any updates and anything like that. But yeah, I'll see you all on Monday. Have a wonderful one.